episode 6 of A House of Hell. So this time, I think we can do it. I've updated my map, and I've made a long list of things for me to try. Yeah, so I've got good hopes this time. So the first thing on my list is that there are 2 more questions that I can ask the Hunchback. So I need to go right back to the beginning to when I initially talked to the Hunchback. Now, he wasn't very helpful before. He was like, oh, you're not one of the Master's friends, and he kind of freaked out, so I'm guessing just the same thing will happen, but I'm so kind of stuck for dead ends. That's just, my list is written in like order of things I can try, so I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, so the door opens slowly and a man shuffles into the room carrying a glass containing a clear liquid. He appears to be bent double and his movements are slow. As he gets nearer to the bed, you realise he will soon notice that you're not there. Do you want to nip out the room quickly, or do you want to leap on the man and attack him? So I'm going to leap on him and attack him, because that's the only way to get him to answer the questions. And I do have quite a high stamina, quite a high skill this time, which is good. Okay, so the Hunchback puts his hands up and steps backwards. The poor miserable creature pleads for mercy. He's such a pitiful sight that you step back as he grovels on the floor. He will do you no harm and thanks you continuously for saving his life. So I will try to force him to answer my questions. So I'm actually just gonna bookmark it here. As I can't remember. I think I asked him about the people in the house last time. I can't remember, but I'm just gonna start from the top and work my way down. So I will ask him, how can you escape from the house? Escape, he whimpers. You can only escape if the Master will allow it. But you have been kind to me. Yes, very kind. Shiku will help you leave. It's the Hunchback Shiku. Who knows the password? Shiku will help you leave. But the Master must not know. Please promise me that you will not tell the Master. You agree and he leads you out of the room onto a landing. He points to a staircase across the landing. If you go down there, you will end up by the front door, he says. The Master may have locked it, but I don't think so. Go, quickly. You walk cautiously round the landing towards the staircase. Shiku cannot walk as quickly as you and you leave him behind. You turn right and then right again. You are now across the landing from the Erasmus room and you look for the Hunchback. He has disappeared. You have passed a couple of rooms, but where has he gone? Is he letting the Master know his whereabouts? Now you must decide what to do. So I need to find him again, but after hearing from Morgana that he knows the new password. So I guess I'm just going room to room now. You look over the landing and then turn around to consider your choices. Door on the left. Okay, so the door on the left is the storeroom. But that means that I can't get to that windowsill, which says Morgana and a pattern on it, which means that I don't know that her name's Morgana, which means she won't answer my question because it's stupid. Like, I can't just turn to the bloody page even though I know the answer because it's, you know, it gets grayed out, so that's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna go back and try try the others. So the question are about the people in the house. The people, he asks. Ah, yes, the people, of course. Tonight is the night. There are many people here. The Master is holding a special occasion tonight and his friends are here. All our friends are the Master. That is, all except the one in grey, for he has betrayed the Master's trust, and he will be punished. Yes, punished before the night is out. The Master put him in the Asmodeus room, and he's promised to let me watch. You have nothing to fear if you're a friend of the Master. You are a friend of the Master, aren't you? Perhaps he'll let you watch too. The Hunchback is giggling with glee at the thought of the night's activities. You have gained all the useful information you will get out of him, so you leave the room, locking him in. So that was different, so the question I asked him last time must have been the bottom one then. Okay, so it seems like I've left the room so the next thing I've got on my list is in the Azazel room. There are a bunch of different files, a bunch of different coloured files, and I wanted to try them all to see what they did, so I'm going to make another bookmark and we can try them. At the end of the bench is a rack which holds 4 glass vials, and each vial contains a coloured liquid. They look like the results of someone's experiment. Are you willing to risk taking a sip of one of these liquids? If so, which colour will you choose? So I'm just going to work through them all, starting with green. You take the stopper off the vial and sniff the liquid. It is odourless. Raising the neck to your lips, you take a sip and wait for something to happen. But nothing does. You feel no strange effects at all. Okay, so that's the normal. So that literally did nothing. Okay, let's try red. You remove the stopper from the neck of the vial and sniff the contents. A strong, acrid odour hits your nostrils and you sneeze loudly and shake your head to drive away the smell. Quickly you put the stopper back in the vial, and too late you see the sign etched into the glass, a skull and crossbones. You've sniffed a deadly poison which is now working its way through your system. You feel dizzy and the room starts to spin. Coughing violently, you slump to the floor. Consciousness fades as your last moments pass, but perhaps this is a merciful escape from the terrors of the House of Hell. Okay, so not red. Let's try clear. You grab the vial boldly, remove the stopper and take a sip of the liquid inside. You wash it around your mouth to taste the test. It is thick and syrupy, not at all unpleasant. You swallow hard and wait with bated breath for it to take effect. For several moments nothing happens. Perhaps it will have no effect. You move over towards the cupboards, and that is when you first notice a difference. Each step you take is an effort. Your feet feel like lead weights and your movements are sluggish. The liquid is a poison which saps the strength of those who take it. Your skill reduces by 1 point and your stamina by 3. Oh no. Okay, so let's try the last one, yellow. You unstopper the vial and sniff the liquid. It smells of lemon. You raise the neck to your lips and take a sip. It tastes like lemon juice. You swallow it and wait anxiously for any effects. Nothing happens. But this is understandable, as the effects of this liquid will not be apparent until you have your next fight, for the liquid has healing powers and protects you from injury. The sip you took wasn't strong enough to heal the next 2 wounds you receive, and you would not lose any stamina from them. Ah, that's good. Okay. Okay, so I exit the room the opposite way I've come. I could go in the Mephisto room and get the rope. I don't know if that will be necessary. Maybe I need to tie up Shagu. Sure. Let's force the door, get the rope from the floor. Okay, we're going to skip the Belfast room. I'm going to go into this door to look at the window to see the message Morgana in a pattern. Then we will try the unmarked door to get the knife and the garlic. Okay, so the next thing that I've got to try on my list is to actually attack the vampire, because the last time I went into the room and I got confused and thought it was Kelnor and didn't attack it, and it like took control of me and like fell off me and I died. But this time I'm gonna go and attack him, and I've got the cloves of garlic, so that might be useful, because it said there were 2 more doors in the back of the room, so I don't know if like one of those doors is important, so I'm gonna try that. You You pull the garlic out of your pocket and hold it up before the man. His expression changes from one of confidence to a look of fright. As you suspected, this vampire cannot bear to be near raw garlic. Sweat breaks out on his forehead and he backs off towards the bed. He's heading for one of the other doors in the room. You hurriedly look round, trying to decide the best way out. Will you try the door on the left, or will you try the door on the right which he was heading for? Alternatively, you could turn round and dash quickly from the door you came through. So let's try the door on the left. The vampire's eyes light up as you open the door. Although you didn't know it, this was just what you was hoping for. As the light from the room falls onto the faces of the vampire's two undead slaves, their eyes open and they step out of the cupboard towards you. The hideous, grey-green, decaying faces of two zombies follow you as you step away from them. Attack! Attack! Yells the vampire. They obey. So my skill is pretty high, it's 12, so they should be quite easy, hopefully. Oh, both minutes, okay. So first zombie is down. Second zombie is down, nice. As his slaves fall dead on the floor, the vampire rises to his feet, ready to finish you off. You quickly hold up your garlic and he stands his ground, but what can you do now? Let's try the other door. You hurl the garlic at the vampire and dash for the door. He shrieks, trying to brush off the garlic. As you fling it opens into a corner, but a rather unusual one. The back wall has slid aside, revealing a secret passageway. The vampire is rising to his feet again, so you decide to risk what lies ahead and step through into the passageway, slamming both doors behind you. The passageway is narrow, and only the faintest glow lights your way. After a short distance you come to a staircase which leads downstairs. Slowly and cautiously you go down the stairs. After a dozen or so steps you reach another landing, and you may follow them down further, or you may try a door in the wall. Let's try a door in the wall. The door opens and you find yourself in a small room. There is another door leading off the room, but in front of you is a strange sight which catches your attention. A shimmering haze seems to be hanging on the wall, almost like a curtain of sparkling water. You step up to investigate and gingerly hold out your finger to touch it. Your finger passes right through. Plucking up the courage, you poke your head into the haze. On the other side you realise what has happened. Your head has emerged through a large mirror into a reception room. On the wall opposite is a huge mural of a country scene, and standing in the middle of the room are a table and 6 chairs. The sound of voices outside the door startles you and you draw your head back. Okay, so the problem is that I'm now downstairs. Without having spoken to Madonna or found Shaku, I know that if I step through the mirror, I'll just have the kitchen, which is a dead end, the locked dining room, and I can go into the cellar, which is kind of a dead end. Although what would be good is to try going back into the cellar from the fireplace, because there's a dude who walks in to see if someone's there, and I think that might be the hunchback. So I think that's... But then we have locked him in a room, so I don't... But that's definitely something to try. But what I will do is I've got, try the food in the storeroom. So I'm kind of, going in that direction. So I'll go down the stairs and follow them down. And then it was the stairs on the right. And then the door on the right. Yeah, the door is not locked. You open it cautiously and poke your head inside. You have found a food store of some kind. The room is lined with shelves with various foodstuffs on them. Bread, dried meats, cheese, fruit, dried fish, wine, red and white, and cakes are all neatly stacked on the shelves. If you need to restore some of your stamina, you may choose any of these to eat. So yeah, I was thinking that I could just try eating all of them and see what happens. I mean, the cheese was drugged before, so I don't know if we should assume it's drugged again. So I'm just gonna assume it's drugged again, and of course don't drink the white wine. So let's just see if this is something that's okay and that we can do again in the future. What food did you take? Bread and cakes restore 2 stamina points each. Dried meats, dried fish and cheese restored 1 stamina point each. Fruit and wine will not restore any points. With wine you will lose 1 skill point, but if you drank wine you will lose 2 fear points. Touch courage, so that makes it worth it to lose a skill point and gain 2 fear points. If you ate cheese and drank white wine, turn to 172. So yeah, I reckon if you ate the cheese or drank the white wine, you'd be screwed. But if you ate neither of these but ate dried fish or drank red wine, oh okay. There's nothing special about this food. Oh okay, okay, so we can eat all of those. And yeah, I imagine the cheese is still bad. And the white wine's still bad. Okay, and then we're back. Okay, so this is, I know this is a dead end. So I'm just gonna reload to the vampire place, but I'm just gonna quickly close the door and leave the room. You step into the passageway and follow the hall round to the right, back to where it retunes the landing. You carry straight on. Okay, the 2-tier villas room had bedding that tries to kill you. So, okay, so I've made notes to check out both the Belial room because something's up with the sheets, and the unmarked door because I haven't checked the bedside table yet. So I'm just gonna make another bookmark. And then let's try the Belial room. You enter the room and study its contents. It seems that this room is used very little and is perhaps a storeroom. White sheets are covering the furniture and several large square shapes which look like boxes. So I look under the sheets to see what they're hiding. The sheets do, in fact, cover up furniture and boxes. There are several easy chairs and a stylish chaise lounge, and the boxes contain household bits and pieces. One box contains ornamental crockery wrapped up in newspaper. There is nothing unusual about any of this. You keep a suspicious eye on the room while you consider your next move. Suddenly, one of the sheets flaps. Was it the wind? No, you think. The air is perfectly still. You watch the sheet. Slowly it rises into the air as if it was being pulled on a rope. Okay, 1 fear point. So last time I just left the room and slammed the door, but this time I will grab the sheet. You walk over slowly and reach out for the sheet. It now hangs in the air well above the box it was covering. You grip it in your hand and tug it downwards. It snaps, confirming your suspicions. The sheet was being pulled by a thin strand of string. You breathe a sigh of relief. You lose the fear point you had just taken, but who or what was pulling the sheet? You decide not to wait to find out. Okay, into the downstairs. Well I guess if I can't now try the unmarked room. Oh, wait, I'll reload just in case. Okay, let's try the unmarked door. You open the door slowly and carefully. The room you enter is a bedroom which looks as though it is waiting for someone to come in and go to bed. The sheets are folded back. The fire in the fireplace is warm but dying. On the bedside table a candle is burning, and next to it is a silver tray with a bedtime snack on it. Velvet curtains are pulled across the window, and along the left-hand wall are fitted cupboards. The overall picture is quite cosy. Let's investigate the bedside table, because I didn't do that last time. On the bedside table are a candle, which lights the room, and a silver tray. On the silver tray is a nighttime snack, bread, jam and tea. Okay, let's eat it. You examine the tray carefully, but there seems to be nothing suspicious about it. The snack is just what you needed. Your stamina increases by 4 points, and your luck increases by a point for this find. That's good. Because my stats are pretty good. My stamina is only 16, but I'd say that's pretty good. So there were skeletons in the cupboard, and I can't remember what happened. Like, I can't remember if I died or if I didn't die. So I'm thinking that I fight the skeletons again, and then see if there's anything else in the cupboard. Okay. Staring at the far end, you examine the cupboards. You open the first door and find it is a wardrobe with dresses and blouses hanging inside. You open the second door and spring backwards in fright, for inside, partially dressed in tattered clothes, are two skeletons. Having disturbed them by opening the door, they are coming to life before your eyes are advancing to attack. You gain 2 fear points for the fright. You must fight. See, I'm thinking that perhaps last time I died of fright, or I died in the battle, because I really don't remember what happens after you kill them, which makes me think that I didn't kill them. But maybe I've just forgotten. I do have quite terrible memory. Excellent, you defeat the skeletons and you may look through the cupboard. There is nothing of interest in the cupboards. Okay. Did I lose? I wasn't paying that much attention, strangely. No, I didn't lose any. So you know, okay, let's go in the abandoned room. And I'm just gonna quickly do the whole Madonna and the, what were they, Great Danes? Yeah, I'm just gonna fight the Great Danes, and then, I'll continue onwards. Okay, so I've defeated the Great Danes, asked her about the secrets, and this is where it says Shaku will know the password. So now, I have to find the Hunchback again. I'm gonna bookmark again here, because I'm pretty sure the dude who walks in to investigate when you fall into the room at the end of the cellar is the Hunchback. But I also haven't gone down the stairs and turned right, and that was the big thing I wanted to try. But let's just follow along this line of thought. So yeah, tipple from the decanter, because that heals you. Some of the fireplace. Look through the letters. Take your attention to the maximum fireplace. So yeah, so you're looking at the fireplace, and the fire sprites attack from out the fire, and I will fight them. Okay, so then you step back up to the fireplace and examine the secret button, and I press it. You press the button and hear a small click, and then you hear another sound, and you swing round to face the corner shelf. Beside this shelf, a sliding panel was opened in the wall. You walk over to investigate and bend down to look at the opening. Too late, you realise that the panel was revealed. Not a tunnel at all, but a false opening. The wall behind is solid, but it has served its purpose. You've been lured into a trap. You are standing on a trapdoor which opens beneath you and you fall downwards. And then you test your luck. I wonder actually what happens if you get unlucky here. I guess you just die. You're unhurt. You pick yourself up and verify there is no serious damage. You've landed on a mound of earth and hay. You realise that you're on a cellar underneath the house. The room is fairly small with one door. Outside you can hear a shuffling noise coming closer. So let's hide behind the door. The door slowly opens and you hold yourself close to the wall. The man who enters is short and stocky and appears to be bent double. Yeah, so I think this is the Hunchback. He's not armed. He peers into the room and scratches his head. Evidently he's heard something and is perplexed to find nothing in the room. So every other time I've kept hidden and hoped that he leaves. But this time I'm going to step forward and announce myself. You cough lightly and step forward. The man turns towards you and jumps back, startled. You apologise for frightening him and explain your situation. He eyes you suspiciously and calms down, saying, "Of course I'll help you, follow me." As he turns and walks through the door, you can see that he's not bent over double, but has a hunched back. You follow him from the room. As you leave the room, the Hunchback limps along, muttering to himself, "I wish the master's friends would not just drop on me like that," he mumbles. "Give me such a fright and all, especially on a night like tonight." He leads you along until he reaches a door on the left. Keep on going until you reach a staircase, then go up into the house. I've got work to do down here. Do you recognise the Hunchback? Have you met him before? Yes, if so, you may turn to 220, or you can wait until he's gone. No, let's turn to 220. You recognise the Hunchback as the man who brought you a drink upstairs. Will you jog his memory by turning, or would you rather have your revenge and attack him? I mean, I had to attack him before to get answers, but I'm just gonna bookmark again. I'm gonna jog his memory. The dull-witted Hunchback seems to vaguely remember your face. You start to chat to him and find that he is quite flattered that someone wants to talk to him. He tells you that his name is Shaku and he lives in the cellars beneath the house. the secret of his cellars, or do you have any brandy that you can pull out and offer him a drink? I feel like in games it's always get him drunk and then they reveal their secrets. His eyes light up at the sight of the brandy. You pour a little into the cap of the flask and pass it to him. He gulps it down and licks his lips. After 2 more capfuls, he is definitely slurring his speech. You tell him that you have heard of secret passageways in the cellar, and that you'd be very interested in being shown around by someone as knowledgeable as he is. Your flattery and the brandy have the desired effect. Proudly he tells you about his cellars, much more than he should. Of course, not everyone can get round these cellars, he boasts. You've got to know the password to get through some of the secret doors, and the master keeps changing the passwords to protect his secrets. In fact, only yesterday he changed the password from Prevent Me to... Oh, what was it now? It's on the tip of my tongue. I should remember it because it's like the name of the house, but mixed up. My mind's mixed up. It must be you and your brandy. He steps back, realising he said enough. You try asking him more, but he would not speak. And so he turns towards the door on the left-hand wall and leaves you, pointing down the passageway, mumbling something about the stairs. I know skipping them brandy was the wrong option. Okay, so jog his memory, but then ask him about the secrets of his cellars. He tells you that there are all sorts of secrets in the cellars, and some of them I just couldn't tell you. It'd be more than my life's worth, for the master would punish me and I wouldn't like that. Needless to say, this only makes you more intrigued, but you will not be pressed on the subject. So I can threaten him. I'll threaten him. As you pull out your weapon, he steps backwards in fear. You demand that he tells you the secrets of the cellars. Alright, he pleads. I'll tell you, but I'll be in terrible trouble if the master finds out that I'm giving away his secrets. You tell him that he'll be even worse trouble if he doesn't tell you what you want to know. The cellar rooms, he starts, are connected by secret doors. Some of them are simply hidden, but a few, the most important ones, need a password to open them. The master keeps on changing the password to keep his secrets safe. You ask him what the current password is, but he says he doesn't know. You threaten him again, and he starts to fight. Okay, so I've only got to afflict 1 wound, it seems. Cool, The hunchback cringes as you strike him. Enough, mercy, please. I'll tell you the password. It's Prevent Me, a member of the Earl's family, or something. Now leave me alone. You step back from the miserable creature. She goes down, scampers off through the door in the left-hand wall and leaves you alone. So that's, we know that it's not Prevent Me anymore. So they said the password is Prevent Me. So it would probably be better. Because I remember last time they were played that there's more options. Like one of the options is to try go ahead. Because even though it says password unlikely to be go ahead, it still could be. And I know there are more options. So I'm just going to, okay, follow the passageway and the bats attack. So I hide under the stairs away from the bats. And then once they fly off and it's quiet, I can look for secret doors and try a password. And so it's not Prevent Me, it's not Go Ahead, it's not Chris, but Murder. Because it's, he said it was the name of the house messed up, so it's like an anagram. And Murder is true more messed up. So I think the password is Murder, so let's see. The rock creaks and dust rises as the wall starts to move. A crack appears in the brickwork, and slowly a secret door opens. But to your surprise, the door opens onto one side of the hollow area you found. Perhaps this was merely a decoy. Oh no, I'm in the decoy room again. Moments later, the door is open wide enough to let you see inside. You can see a small chamber with a table standing in the centre. I mean, there are the 4 options, and you think there would be another option that was like greyed out or something, but then instead, I'm just going to bookmark it, just in case, then I'm going to enter the room, behind the secret room. So it was right. You step into the small room, glancing round to make sure you are safe. You walk up to the table. The rest of the room is bare, except for the table and the box which rests on it. Could this be the one you are looking for? It is a handsome rectangular box made inscription in the window top reads, "The Grist Knife, a blade of fashion for the glorification and pleasure of the demons of hellfire, are true masters, to be used only by initiates, never to be wielded in the presence of the masters. A sense of awe feels you should pick up the knife. You turn it over tenderly in your hands and then place it in your pocket. For this find you gain 3 luck points. Now you must decide what to do next." And I'm going to bookmark. Will you leave the way you entered and climb the stairs? So I know how to get into the red room. But I'm wondering if I should search the room thoroughly first. I might as well while I'm here. You rummage through the box, but there is nothing else hidden inside. The walls all feel solid except for one on the left-hand side, adjacent to the secret entrance. You feel around and locate another secret door, but you cannot feel a catch. Perhaps the same password opens it. You try this, and the door starts to open slowly, revealing another room. You stare into this other room. It is almost an exact replica of the one which you are standing in. It's completely bare except for a table with a box resting on it. Fascinating. Do you wait to open this other room? No, that's got to be the decoy room. Okay, so we've now gone upstairs. Okay, we can totally do this. We're totally gonna do this. You open the door at the top of the stairs. Facing you is a door, and to your right, the way enter another door. So let's enter the door opposite. Okay. The room you enter is a reception room. A table and 6 chairs stand in the centre of the room. At one end is an enormous mural of a country scene, perhaps painted of the area many years ago. On the opposite wall, stretching from the floor to the ceiling, is a full-length mirror. Velvet curtains line the wall opposite the door. You walk over to admire the painting, then turn to face the mirror. A shock is in store. Your eyes widen as you turn towards the mirror and stare into it. It casts no reflection of you. You gain 1 fear point. You walk closer to the mirror, but still no reflection appears, although you can see the table and the wall clearly behind you. You walk right up to it and feel its surface. Your hand passes right through the glass. Putting it back quickly, you consider the situation. I'm just making bookmarks left, right and centre here. So investigate the room further. The underside of the table forms a closed box, and this arouses your suspicions. You knock on it, it is hollow. Perhaps it is a secret compartment. You feel around underneath, and sure enough, your fingers find a small catch which releases the hidden drawer. Inside this drawer is a leather box, but wait, what is that noise? You can hear footsteps out the door. You have to hide quickly. So you grab the case and you take it with you, and then with it you dive through the mirror. You grab the box and walk up to the mirror. You put your hand through and you pull it back. It seems safe enough. You step through just in the nick of time, for as you disappear into the mirror, you hear the door behind you open. You find you're in a small room behind the mirror. Decide to open the leather box. Inside is a golden key, which you put in your pocket. And then behind the mirror is a small chamber, just large enough for you to turn around in. There are 2 doors. We want to try the right-hand door. The door is locked and we open it with the golden key. The golden key fits the lock and turns. The door opens to let you into another small room. The dust and cobwebs suggest this room is very rarely used, and it certainly looks fairly uninteresting. But in the thick dust on the floor you notice one footprint, then another. Someone so even though I've got a map, I'm terrible with directions, so bookmarking again. So the door to the left is the study. May turn right and follow the way round, so let's do that. The way widens, you walk across another hallway and continue in the direction you're walking until you reach two doors opposite each other. So the door on the right is the kitchen, and the door on the left is the dining room. The door is locked. The handle and lock are part of an ornate metal plate. Do you have a cast iron key with you? I get quite excited now. The key turns and the door opens. You step into the dining room. The long table is set for two of fine silver. A sparkling chandelier festooned with candles lights the room. The walls are covered with plush red wallpaper. Full-length curtains are drawn along one of the walls. You're prepared for your battle. A rope hangs down the ceiling. You can pull this if you wish to ring for the butler. Every time before we've checked the traps, there hasn't been any, and then I've tested my luck and checked again, and there hasn't been any, so I'm thinking of just skipping right to put in the rope and ringing for the butler. A few moments later, Franklin's the butler enters the dining room. He's startled to see you. You demand to talk to the master of the house, and he agrees to pass on your request. 10 minutes later, the Earl of Drumore comes storming angrily into the room, with Franklin's following close behind. They stand facing you across the table, watching you carefully. Why have I been disturbed in the middle of the night, he demands. You tell him you know of the evil that goes on in this house, and you're determined to destroy it. The two men look at each other, they nod and look back at you. Then they step apart and advance around the table towards you. The Earl to your left, and his butler to your right. So I know that Franklin's is the real monster, so I have to destroy Franklin's. I guess, wish me luck. If you want to attack Franklin's, you turn towards the butler. He stops and takes a step backwards. You step forwards. Franklin's runs round to the other side of the table. Franklin, screams the Earl. Move in, man. Step up and attack. The butler twitches nervously. Will you continue pursuing him? Yes. You catch up with the butler in the corner of the room. If you're attacking with the Chris dagger, you gain 3 points to your skill during the battle. You must fight. I'm really nervous. Okay. Franklin screams when you hit him. The sound is almost unbearable. This is not good. Oh, when you inflicted your first win on Franklin's. No, you gain 3 fear points and die. How am I supposed to get rid of the fear points? The butler screams as your blow strikes him. The man is obviously not the violent type, as the agony in his voice is certainly not warranted by your modest hit. His cry continues, becomes deafening, and you're forced to step back and cover your ears with your hands. But this is not the anguish of an injured man. Steam begins to rise on the floor and engulfs the butler. His expression changes from a scream to a vicious snarl, and his eyes widen. A transformation is taking place. Before your eyes, the form of Franklin's melts away and is replaced by a hideous demonic beast. Steam hisses from its mouth. Its scaly skin is dark. Its hands are now 2 vicious claws which slash the air before you. You gain 3 fear points as you witness the creation of this demon from the depths of hell. The sight is so hideous that you finally succumb to your fear. You die of fright. That's not fair. That's actually not fair at all. Okay, what could I have done differently? I had to go into the marked door and got fear from the skeletons and such. So I could go back to, what's it, 200? Okay, so this is the vampire room. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead. And because I know her name's Madonna, right? Window message Madonna Brown. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and meet you back in the dining room in the final fight. So let's do this. Okay, we're back. This time my fear is 5, and I think you only lose 3, right? Wait, why do I not have the Chris knife? Sharp knife, it still just says sharp knife. Why does it still just say sharp knife? Because before it definitely said weapon, the Chris knife. I don't know. let's just see what happens. Yeah, if you're using the grizz knife. Okay, okay, so yeah, the butler screams, pulls a step back, and he begins to transform, and that causes me 3 points, but I haven't died from it, and I'm using the grizz knife. Can you defeat the demon which now stands before you? If not, it will certainly kill you. But you have with you the grizz knife, the only weapon which will harm the creature. Your skill score increases by 6 points while using this weapon. You must fight. Okay, it still says sharp knife, but whatever, let's just pretend. So my skill was 12, and now it's 18. Okay, I'm using the grizz knife, that's okay. You both missed. Okay, this is actually tense. 10, okay. We hit the hell demon. You should never trust the butler. If you're one of those people who played the old Tomb Raider games and locked the butler in the fridge because he was creepy, you knew what you were doing. You were ahead of your time. It's a good decision. Yes. Okay. Oh. The creature howls as you strike the final blow. It totters on its hooves and crashes down on the table. As it falls, its flailing arms smash into the chandelier in the centre of the room, scattering candles onto the floor. From behind you, another cry goes up, and your other attacker, whom you'd forgotten about completely, springs over to the table to hug the beast pitifully. You ought to kill both of them, but the pathetic, sobbing creature hunched over the huge bulk is hardly worth considering. In any case, something else, much more dangerous, has caught your attention. On one of the candles which was knocked from the chandelier has rolled across the floor and has set light to the heavy curtains. The fire is spreading rapidly. You must escape quickly. Smoke is beginning to creep out of the room as you close the front door behind you. Walking down the drive, you glance back to see the fire making rapid progress through the ground. Flames are licking along the wooden beams. In an hour or so, the place will be beyond rescue. From a safe distance, you watch the fire destroy the house. A fitting end, do you think, for a house of hell? The end. We did it. We actually did it. I was thinking that, like, if I couldn't work out how to do it this time, I just wouldn't know how to do it at all. But I can't believe we did it. Although, I kind of want to know what the appointment was. Like, things like this. Kind of. Okay, so there's, Star Trek Voyager. There's this, these kind of episodes they start doing on the holodeck where Janeway's doing, it's based on like an old book, and there's like a dude and his daughter, and it's like, don't go on the 3rd floor, whatever you do, don't go on the 3rd floor. And then because of lack of interest, they dropped that storyline. But since then, I've just been like, what was on the 4th floor? Like, what was on the bloody 3rd floor? And I've googled it, and because it's based on some book, it's like the dude's ex-wife or something on the 3rd floor. But I like to think that actually it was like The Grudge, and the Star Trek Voyager was going to go like full horror for a bit, which would have been very cool. But yeah, the same way that for so long it was like, what was on the 3rd floor, what was on the bloody 3rd floor, I'm now going to be like, what was that appointment? Like, what was that appointment we were on our way to? That we were given directions to go a different way. Like, the man who gave us these directions, did they know? Like, were they on our side and they knew that we could possibly destroy it? Or were they on Kellner's side and just trying to give him like another victim? Like, what was the appointment? Like, because there were times where we died and it was like, you'll never make your appointment now. So what was so important about it? That's what I want to know. Leave your theories. What do you think the appointment was? Please let me know what you think in the comments below. But yeah, guys, we did it. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos. There are many more of these like fighting fantasy game books that I can play, both on Steam but also physical, and then I'll have like the page turning noises and the dice rolling noises. I also want to do like reading books that are in the public domain, because you can do that and not get in trouble. So kind of like a story time type thing. But yeah, so any new content you want to see, please let me know. I know you want more PC ASMR videos, but I am working on some of those, so yeah. But yeah, thank you so much to my patrons, and thank you for watching. We did it. Huzzah!